Support for Radio Friends comes from OsteoStrong. Improvements in bone density, strength, and power can be achieved by weekly 5-minute no-sweat sessions on their 4-spectrum machines. These isometric robotic machines safely emulate high-impact loading on different parts of the skeletal system, which stimulates activity in bone-building cells. Balance and agility can be improved by 2-minute sessions on vibration plates. Every session is supervised by a trained coach. Learn more on Facebook or call to set up a complimentary wellness assessment and session. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Thursday, October the 14th. Pleasure to have you with us today. We're going to talk to the young people today. You know, young people who are just starting out in the world of getting a job. And we've got ALEX LaBRUNERIE with us from LaBrunerie Financial. Good to have you here, Alex.
Great to be here.
Yeah, and I remember back 50, 60 years ago when I was just starting out working, I wasn't really all that concerned about benefits and vesting. But this is something you wanted to address today.
Yes, Paul, and that's a natural feeling when you're in your 20s and 30s. You're not thinking about your 60s and 70s.
Right.
But you know, we've noticed in the labor market, particularly since COVID, there's been so many job changes. You know, I think older people are retiring much quicker than expected because of COVID. But younger people, 20s and 30s, people under 40, are changing jobs, you know, at a very fast pace. That's been a trend that's occurred for many years, but it's accelerated. And it might just, for the younger people, when they're thinking about changing a job, they might want to just look at their 401k and make sure that if they make a jump to a new job, they're not leaving some vested contributions from the employer behind. Or if they are going to change their job, they want to make sure they get compensated on the other side or with the new position to offset what they might be losing in vested benefits. Because if you're not vested and you leave your 401k, then you forfeit some of your employer contribution. Not your own contribution,
but the employer contribution.
The employer match.
So when you talk about being vested, isn't it normally a 5-year period for vesting?
Yeah, that's standard, and it usually you have to that's so the company wants to have loyalty, and they're making contributions if your plan has an employer match. Oftentimes that vesting is 5 years.
Yeah, so you need to think carefully about that. If you're thinking about taking a new job, it would be awful to be working for this one place for 4 years and 11 months, and you decide to leave. Yeah, and you don't get your vested income.
That's right. Yeah. So just if you gut it out in this scenario, 1 more month. Or 2, whatever the vesting schedule is.
Even if it means staying an extra year in a job that maybe you're not really enjoying, but come on, you're going to be throwing away all that money that really is yours if you don't stay for that period.
Exactly, that's right. And it's worth making sure at that young age to make sure you're just aware of that and that you're calculating that into your move.
When people are looking for jobs, how many people these days are really looking at the benefits also? Because even if the salary isn't quite what you were wanting, if you take in the benefits, it may be better to take that job than not.
I think so. I mean, obviously health insurance is a key benefit, but I don't know if as many would-be applicants look at the 401k plan and how important that is. Obviously, we believe very strongly in saving for retirement. And you have to start young nowadays to make it work for yourself. But I think young people ought to look at the 401k match. And see and study it.
I can tell you from experience, when I started my job at KOMU over 50 years ago today, the money was not all that great, but I remember them saying, well, even though we can't pay you a lot, we've got a great retirement program. And I thought at that time, I was 23 years old. I thought, I don't care about that retirement program. My goodness, I didn't expect to stay there 40 some odd years, and now I'm very thankful for that retirement program that I have. So you need to, even if you're young, you're not thinking what's going to happen in 20, 30, 40 years, that time comes around pretty fast.
That's for sure. Once you get over 30 and 40, it goes even faster.
Yeah. You were telling me that there are billions of dollars in 401ks
Yeah.
that have just been forgotten.
Yeah, so a lot of and this is astounding, and you can't. I don't know if it's quantified exact figure but there are a lot of research institutions in the 401k or the employee benefit market that have put the number of lost 401k balances. So these would be balances that a young person may have had at a job that she had 10 years earlier. She moved several times.
And she forgot.
And she forgot. The company's lost track of the person. And if you add that number up, it reaches hundreds of billions of dollars, some estimates even $1 trillion in unclaimed or unrealized accessed 401k balances. That could be anywhere from $1,000 to $12,000.
Yeah. So somebody listening today, maybe you're jogging their memory.
Yes,
What
if
do they
you're-
do? What do they
They
need
need to go back and think. They really ought to take some time and go, did I have a 401k from that job I had out in Seattle 7 years ago? What happened to it? I think it's worth trying to track that down.
So how would you go about tracking it down?
I think calling, trying to call the benefits office
Of your employer.
of your former employer, because you probably moved on, and kind of do an accounting of your time, your various jobs, and see if there was a 401k
And you
match.
may find out that you struck a little pot of gold that you didn't know
Might
that you
be
had,
some
or you'd
hidden
forgotten
treasure
about.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
To avoid this going forward, it makes a lot of sense to roll over old 401ks when you're young, so that you have your own IRA that you're following and tracking.
Okay. But if you leave before you are vested,
Yes.
you cannot roll over the portion that the company has put in. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, it's specific to each company, but generally it's 5 years, and you may get some of the company match, but you will give up some of it if you leave before vested.
Okay, so-
and Paul, I want to make sure your own contributions are never forfeited. So
Okay.
don't let that discourage you or prohibit you from saving yourself.
Okay, your own contribution is not forfeited, but if you're not vested with the company, the amount the company put in will be forfeited.
Correct.
Okay. Alex, thank you so much for
Thank
that
you.
information. If people want to talk to you, or if they want more info, how do they
Yes.
get in touch?
We're here in Columbia at 573-449-5313, or our website's LaBrunerie.com.
Okay, and there's a lot of good information there. The one thing I think, hopefully, we pique people's interest, the fact that if you did work somewhere some time ago and you had a 401k, check it out, because you may have some money
Yes.
waiting for
Yes,
you.
absolutely.
All right. Alex LaBrunerie, thank you so much for coming by. And don't forget their bow tie Fridays.
That's right. Come see us.
Every Friday, everybody wears a bow tie. All right. We're out of time for
Okay.
today. If there's something you'd like to hear or see, I would love to hear from you. That's pepperp@missouri.edu, and have yourself a good day. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.